sunshine.
Can you frickin' believe this? We're doing Coffee Thoughts. We're doing Coffee Thoughts podcast right now. And man, I gotta say, it's been a while. Hello. Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in and clicking this video or listening to this audio. I appreciate it very much. And it has been a while since I've made a Coffee Thoughts podcast, and this is the first one of 2020. And I've been waiting to do this for, a while, and I just, I don't know, felt like tonight was the night. I wanted to do a little different setup. I wanted to get better audio because the audio before, just wasn't cutting it anymore, and I felt like it was time to upgrade a little bit. So here we are. So first of all, I have some tea. That's absolutely important. ASMR. And in case you're wondering what kind of tea, it's ginger. It's really good. And anyway, yeah, before I start, I guess I'll just give a couple updates as far as music stuff and other stuff. But I just want you to know that this episode is probably going to be pretty long because there's a lot of things that I want to talk about and a lot of things that I've been preparing to talk about. So first of all, new music is coming out in February. The first single from Nosebleed will be coming out with the music video. It's called Anxiety, and it's going to be coming out on We Are Triumphant Records, which is my good friend Greg Long's label. And we released a couple Christmas songs together, and it went really well. And I'm really excited to drop this new music, so there's that. And then I just got sent tour dates back, so I have some USA tour dates coming up, and those will be announced in February as well. That's the plan right now. So other music stuff, I've been writing Beneath the Roses, which will be a part 2 to Between the Roses, which is my first full-length record. And I'd say about 8 or 9 songs into writing that record, and I'm really stoked about how it's turning out, but that's going to be way down the line. So I still have the whole Nosebleed album to release before that. Stay Cozy, I'm actually rocking one of the new hoodies right now, and I'm doing the photo shoot for that this week, and the new drop will be coming out in February. And I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who ordered something for my first launch. Honestly, it was overwhelmingly amazing, and I'm so thankful that I was able to do that, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed all the aesthetic and everything. I worked for a long time on that, and I'm just trying to make stuff that I like and stuff that I would wear. So yeah, these hoodies I'm really excited about because they're velvet on the inside and they're super long and they're just really comfy. So other than that, new Gentleman Stoners episode will be coming out sometime soon. I'm not exactly sure when. It's finished pretty much. We just have to do some color correction. We just haven't really been able to pick a date yet. And we've been writing a bunch more of that. And I've been doing a bunch of auditions for other acting stuff my agent's been sending me to. And I did my very first TV episode in December. I got to play a demon. And whenever that comes out, I will post it. But that was cool. So I think that's probably it for updates. I just kind of want to get into the episode because it's been a while since I have made one, and there's a lot to cover, I would say. So let me just get a little tea here, and so let's freaking get into the podcast because that's why we're here, and that's why I'm here, and that's why you're here. Okay, so first of all, tonight on this episode, I'm going to be talking about practical ways to make your life better in 2020, or how to live a better life in 2020, how to feel better in 2020, how to improve your well-being, how to improve your just overall experience of this reality this year right now, starting right now. And I want to lay out some just more practical steps other than just, philosophy and whatever. I want to try to lay out some actual things that you can do. And the reason that I've waited to make this episode is because there's been certain things that I've been kind of adjusting in my life and working on that I just I needed a bit more time to experience and to understand before I attacked this, because a lot's changed in my life and even in the last couple months, like, I always say that, you always hear me say that, you're like, I'm always like, oh, things are different and changed in the last year, all this shit, I've learned a lot, but I'm always trying to learn, but I think sometimes in life you hit points where you actually do grow, and the things that you do learn, over the, like, just little periods, like weeks and months and years, they kind of click, and you kind of transcend to like another headspace or mindset or whatever you want to call it. So I'm definitely at a place right now that I've never been really before, and it's really good. It's the best I think I've ever felt in my whole life for a lot of reasons, and most of the reason is because I've gone through so much shit internally, and I've had to observe it over and over and over and over, and work on it and fail and work on it and fail, and just really try my best to learn myself, because that's it's taken so many tries to fix certain issues that I've had, to fix certain the way I've seen things or habits that I've had or vices that I've had to kick. It's taken me 25 fucking years to feel as good as I do now, which is the best I felt in 25 years. So I just want to share a little bit of what I've experienced, and just give you some of my tips or insights, because there's a lot of little things that I think you can do that add up to a bigger picture, and I've had to kind of learn what those are for me, and I think everybody's different, and only yourself. But I just want to go over some of the things that I've personally really struggled with in my life, and I've talked about some of those things, but I want to talk about kind of how I've been able to fix a lot of them. And I do have a list on my phone because I didn't want to forget, and I knew that as soon as I started to talk about it, I was going to forget. So here we freaking go. Number 1, social media and the internet. So as you know, you're watching this on YouTube, or you're listening to this on the internet, or maybe you downloaded it somehow, and that's cool. But I have been on the internet. I've been, producing content since 2009. So that's 11 years, over 10 years, over a decade on the internet, and over a decade of, using social media and sharing my music, my videos, and tweets and statuses and pictures and all that jazz, right? And everybody uses the internet. Not everybody, but most people do, so I'm sure you're one of those people. But I want to talk a little bit about how that's affected me, and how I've kind of adjusted things. So, it's weird because, like, when you get like followers, or you get, views or streams or something, it's awesome. It's great, and it's no matter what you're doing, because I think part of why we use social media is to find relevance, and is to find like validation from other people, and we don't even like realize that. But I'm sure if you ask yourself, like, sometimes, you edit a picture, you edit a video, and you post it, and it's like, why are you doing that? Because you want to get likes, because you want to get views. And I've done that my whole fucking life, and I've done that up until now. I think I've really, even subconsciously, when I've convinced myself, like, I don't care how many views this gets, I don't care how many likes this gets, I'm still doing it for that, and it's really fucked with my psyche. It's really fucked with my view of myself, and my, I guess, how I what I identify with, how I see myself, and I've known that for a long time. But I recently hit a point where, I don't really know what happened, but I just kind of decided, like, I'm just gonna see, what it's like to go for a couple days without looking at, people's like news feeds and people's posts, and I'm gonna go a couple days without going on, Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. So I deleted the apps from my phone for a couple days, and in those couple days, like, what I noticed was I was way more focused on what I was doing. And I was on my phone a little bit less, obviously. I was still kind of going to open the app, and then I had to be like, wait a minute, I don't have it anymore. So I was kind of noticing, like, okay, I have this crazy addiction to that. But also, I noticed myself, like, being more focused and present on what I was doing, and less, like, concerned about what was going on in that realm. Because when you're constantly checking it and tapping into it, which is what I was doing up till then, you're always kind of subconsciously, like, even if you see something, you scroll through your newsfeed for a couple, minutes or whatever, and you see like 20 pictures, after you close the app, like you're still kind of thinking about that, even if you don't realize it. It's like you're thinking about, oh, what was this person doing? Like this person looks so happy. This person looked like they're having fun. Like you're thinking about all this other shit, and you're building an idea of people, you know, some people that you don't even know, or the people that you do know that you follow, you're still building an image of them. And so anyway, I just noticed in these couple days that I felt this really like this nice kind of relief. So I decided that in 2020, I'm cutting all my feeds. I know I'm going to cut my feeds out, and I've done that for it's been about a month almost now, that I've only had social media to post, you know, when I have to share something, or when I want to make a story or something. I don't have any input coming. So I don't have any news feeds. I muted all my news feeds. And dude, it has been amazing for my mental health. And I have to say, like, I think that could be one thing that you could try to do, because what I've noticed is I don't care so much. I just don't care what's going on there anymore. And when I make a song, or when I make, you know, I'm writing something, I'm not thinking about, you know, what's going to happen after I put it out. Like that I would think about that all the time, but since I kind of have detached from that, I just don't think about that. And it's this really peaceful feeling. It's almost like I could kind of, you know, compare it to, like, you know, I don't know, like just being someone who's like walking around a city with a phone and like filming themselves all the time. Even if I'm not always filming myself, like subconsciously I am, because I'm thinking about, you know, things from a digital kind of perspective. And then now I kind of feel like I'm like a mountain man a little bit. Like I'm still like on the internet. I'm still, you know, using it for stuff, but I feel like out of the loop. I feel really disconnected from it now, and it's fucking awesome. Like it's fucking cool, and I feel so much more grounded and present. I'm more confident too, is what I've noticed. I'm going to talk more about like things that I have to do with confidence as well. But it's just been a major thing that I would say, if you're feeling, you know, anxious or low about yourself, or like fear or fucking worry, you know, just fuck it, man. Just get rid of your feeds for a little bit. Just stop taking so much input, because you filter who you follow, but you don't filter what other people are posting. You don't filter what other people are saying, and like you end up taking in so much garbage that you just get numb to it. And you know, another awesome part about that is like when I see people, I actually have things to talk with them about, because I don't know what they're up to. I don't know what they've done in the last, you know, day or week or hour. Like I don't know. And that's it's weird, because I've known, like, you know, you go to hang out with someone and you're like, oh, what have you done? But you already know what they've done, because you fucking creep their Instagram, you look at their Instagram. And I just feel like that's really alleviated a lot of, I don't know, you know, just anxiety stuff. It just has, because the internet always gives me anxiety. It's fucking an insane place, and especially when you're kind of putting yourself out there, dude, it's like I see like 100 really nice comments, and that's amazing, but then I see one, you know, bad comment that's like, yo, your singing fucking sucks, go die. Like, okay, I can ignore it and it doesn't matter, but it still fucks with my psyche. You know, I don't think anybody should like willingly, you know, leave themselves susceptible to that, because we wouldn't do that in real life. You know, it's like if you were in a room with somebody and they said that, you wouldn't just be like, okay, cool, I'm just gonna stay here and like, yeah, it's fine, man, I'm just gonna ignore it. Like you wouldn't put up with people like that. So I don't know, I've started to see myself in a better light after going off social media. I know not everybody's like a content creator, but I think it can apply no matter what you're doing on the internet. And so that's the first thing that's really changed my life a lot, is just taking that little step to disengage from social media. Really just the input. I'm still using it for stuff, but just to stop identifying with that, and to stop fucking identifying with the internet so much, because it's just something that's so normal now, but I don't like it. I've never really liked it, and I don't like it now, and I just don't want it to be part of my life anymore. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to use it to do what I need to do, and to talk to people and help people and whatever. But it's just the, you know, the whole feed thing, and the fucking watching bullshit on YouTube, and that's, you know, that's another thing, is just kind of watching what you consume. But I'll get into that later. So anyway, that's number one, and that's been a big one for me, and I've really noticed a more sense of peace since I've kind of cut those ties a little bit, you know, because it gives you just a sense of like, I don't need to fucking tell everybody what I'm doing all the time. I don't need to like worry about people messaging me all the time that I got to reply in 2 minutes. Like I'm fucking living life. I'm like working on something, or like you kind of forget to check your stuff, and it's nice. Like over time, what I've noticed is just like it's way less important, you know. So that's one thing, and I just want to pull up my list here. All right. So the second thing I'd like to talk about, and this is really kind of, I don't know what parts of this are going to resonate with you. I'll put like a timestamp thing in the description or in the comments. But these are things that I've, over my 25 years, like kind of had to work on. So the second thing is finances and money I want to talk about, because I've never really talked about that on a podcast, I don't think. And I know that's a big one, dude. That's a big one for everybody. Doesn't matter how successful you are or not successful or where you're at. Doesn't matter. Money is something that is part of our lives. And I'd just like to talk about kind of some of my struggles with it and some of my things that I've learned. So, I grew up kind of like not having, I was never like, a rich kid or whatever. And my family was never like that either. And everyone had their hard times, and I saw a lot of that growing up. And so I kind of really had a negative view on money for a long time. And when I started making money with music and with, Spotify and iTunes and stuff, which is when I was like in high school, I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything. So when I started making like a bunch of money from all this shit that I was working on and doing, I was just like fucking spending it. I was taking my friends out. I was doing all this shit, and I was just like, I had no like, no one had ever taught me any of that. No one had ever taught me like, save your money, don't spend it on bullshit. Like, you gotta do taxes. Like, I didn't know any of that until like way later in my life. So, and not that I regret any of that, because I had a great time, being able to do that, and like, it was fun. But then, I really like had to learn. I've really had to learn like, like this, what you do and like your passion and even though it's a creative thing, like making music and stuff, like it's still a fucking business. And I've had to learn all that kind of like on my own with the help of like, people that I've met in my life and my team and stuff. But ultimately, like, I've had to go through the fuck ups of like making a bunch of money and spending a bunch of money and then like worrying about money and not having it because I spent on something stupid. Like, I've gone through that a lot in my life, and I've had to learn over time, how to handle it, because it's a hard fucking thing. And I think the hardest part about it is the way that most of us are taught money is, and that is like that it's scarce and that you should be afraid of it and that you should always be worried about not having enough. And there's this real sense of worry. So I really had to like understand the spiritual side of money as well, and learn how to look at it and learn to look at it as energy and as a tool, and not as like a fucking physical thing that like is it's I've had to really shift my mindset on it and realize that it's just like anything else. It's like whatever emotion you have attached to money, it is how it's going to reveal itself to you and affect you. So I think the first way that I kind of realized this is like anytime that I was in like a tough spot, or like I was worried about money and like I was getting fucking bills and I was getting like just a bunch of shit come out of nowhere, it was always when I was worrying about it, and I would just realize like I'm attracting that. I'm fucking constantly attracting this because I don't know how to look at money. I don't know how to handle it. And did the music, doing all the music stuff and like the merch and everything, like I was making a lot. I was making more than I like ever thought would happen. And so I just wasn't prepared for it. And I wasn't prepared because like you're not taught in high school how to fucking do your taxes, or how to fucking use a credit card, or like how to properly save money. That's shit that I had to learn all on my own. And I guess like I could keep going about like the struggles and shit, but I just kind of want to talk about now what I do and what I think can help a lot of people. And not everybody has money issues, and not everybody has a bad mindset on money. Just, I know it can be a struggle. And number one, stop saying that you're broke. Stop telling yourself that you don't have enough money. Stop telling your friends you don't have enough money. Stop telling your parents and your family and everybody that you don't have money. You got to stop that shit, because every time you say that, that's literally what you're telling the universe, and that's what you're telling money. It's like, I don't have you, I don't have you, I don't have you. There's not enough. Like, you're literally creating that for yourself. And you can fucking sit there and argue all you want, that's fine. But try it. Try to not do that for a while, and try to switch how you're thinking about it. And realize that money is a fucking, either a piece of paper, or it's either a fucking number typed on a screen. And the only value that it has is the value that you give it. I had an interesting thing happen that kind of shifted how I looked at it. I have like an app that I use, I use like a digital bank, So there's not a brick and mortar like building. It's just like alternative banking. And I remember one day I had like got a paycheck and then I spent some of it on something, but it didn't change. So I still had the amount that I had been paid. So it didn't deduct what I had spent on my account. And it was like a decent chunk. And that to me was like, okay, wait a minute. So do I have it or do I not? Because I have the idea of that I spent it, but like it's telling me that I still have it. It was like a glitch. So then it kind of made me think like, what the fuck really is money other than like an idea? And I know a lot of people just say, well, you don't understand, blah, blah. Yo, I fucking do understand, dude. I've had so many times in my life where I've like been going through shit and like, not knowing how I was going to take care of stuff. And like, I've worked at like shitty jobs too. And I've fucking grinded my ass off to, make ends meet. And I work fucking hard at all this shit. It's not like easy. But, so number one, I just really think you got to stop the internal dialogue of worrying about it and start to be thankful for it and start to know that it's going to come and start to know that you are going to have enough and that there's more than enough, because it's really just fucking matter. It's like you don't complain that there's not enough fucking dirt on the ground. It's made of the same shit, So just stop telling yourself, even if all you do is just stop bitching about it and stop telling people that you're broke and stop telling yourself that you're broke. Just stop that. You don't have to switch it around yet. Just stop that stream and stop that momentum. And anyway, so that's number one. Number two, keep track of it. Okay? And what I did, this is exactly what I did. And this is exactly when it started to change for me. It was a couple years ago. I used to kind of have this thing where, you get paid and then you spend it and you kind of roughly think you know how much you have. And then you're like, oh, I'm good. And then you check your account one day and you're like, fuck. I didn't realize I spent all this. So what I did is I spent some time and I made a spreadsheet, and I used the Mac Numbers app. So it's all like I put formulas in and stuff. So I have basically like a section that's like all my income, how much, what day it was on, what the source was, and it's all in like a column. So it adds up at the bottom and it tells me the total of how much I've made this month. And I do this for every month. I do a different spreadsheet. And then I have a separate kind of like, it's like a second page, but it's still attached to it. That's basically a list of all my transactions. So every single day, every dollar that I spend, I write down the date, the amount, and I have a bunch of categories like, SayWeCanFly, stay cozy, leisure, food and coffee is one category, car/gas, utilities, rent, whatever. And I have like columns. So I'll just select what category it goes into, and it's all automatically like calculated. There's like a total of what I've spent, total of what I've made, and then I have like another one that basically subtracts what I've spent that month from, my starting balance plus what I've made that month. So I know every time that I go to spend something, like how much I have. And sometimes before I spend something, if it's like a big decision or something, I enter it to see where it's going to be at. Or if I know how much money's coming to me this month, I'll put like a rough estimate, and then I'll, subtract the thing that I want to buy. And I always have an idea of where I'm at, and that has been a massive change, because it's like the more you kind of watch it, the more, number one, you just kind of want to see that number grow, of how much you have saved. Then that makes you want to spend less, and that makes you watch your spending less, because you can review it every month and be like, ooh, like I spent way too much on this. For me, it's always fucking coffee, but I'm okay with it. I let myself have that, and allow yourself to, treat yourself and stuff. But just do that over time. I've been doing it for a couple years, and it's really fucking changed my life a lot, because you always know where you're at, and that's really important. That's really important. I really would recommend doing that. You don't have to make a fancy spreadsheet, even if you just keep like a journal, or just keep like, a note. But I would say just organize it the best you can. And, if you work for yourself, then make sure you have, some money set aside for taxes. And that's, something that I went through. It's like when I started making money from music and stuff, I just didn't think about that, because I was never taught it really. And I just remember, like, I had like a couple really good years, and then I had to pay so much in taxes, and I was like, fuck, like I didn't think about it, So now I know it's like I gotta fucking save all my business receipts. I gotta save like money aside from for taxes and stuff. And it sounds like simple, but it's so life changing when you just keep track of it. And then another thing that can help too is just having separate accounts, instead of like having it all go onto one place. I have like an account for my businesses. I have an account for, my car insurance coming out. And like, I just have different accounts for different things, because if you put it all in one spot, it's just, you see that number and it's easier to spend it because you're like, oh, I have this much money. But if you put it away and then you give yourself like a certain amount to spend or to use every day, then you kind of eventually forget about what's saved and you're like, oh, this is how much I have. And then at the end of the month, you're like, fuck, wait a minute, I have like all this money saved. And so just little things like that can really make a massive difference. And I would really recommend that. And I think the whole financial worry, because a lot of people have that, a lot of it is the way you're looking at it. And a lot of it is just like, you just have to take control and you got to go into that fucking closet and just clean it out a little bit. Because when you organize it, you know where things are, and it can feel like a big mess, but it doesn't have to be, you just have to go in there and do some work and organize it. And, just really just think about it. Like if you're gonna buy like a big thing, then just ask yourself, like, would I rather have the money or would I rather have this thing, or like should I really do this right now or should I wait a little bit and then do it, So, and also just remember, like there's many ways you can make money in this day and age, man. It's like, like I do the music stuff and a lot of people ask me like how I make money with it. Like the main thing is Spotify streams. That's incredible because, once you hit a certain point, the algorithms of Spotify just really help push you further. And, if you do have enough streams, like you can make a full-time living just from fucking Spotify. And that's been like my full-time living for a long time. But then on top of that, it's, it's like I do the YouTube stuff and I do, audio work for other people, and I have my clothing line, which I run completely by myself, and I do, acting stuff, and, just whatever other random stuff that I do, because I always like to have multiple kind of sources of income, and I don't think it's, even if you have a solid job and stuff, you can always do other things on the side. You can always just do other creative things. And there's always people that need stuff done, and if you can learn a skill, then just fucking do it, and somebody will pay you for it. I pretty much guarantee you. So that's just kind of a bit of insight on that. And also, just don't worry about it so much, Just enjoy it and fucking, don't look at money as a bad thing. So that's number 2 of my list of how to live a better life in 2020. And I hope, I haven't talked about this kind of stuff really. So, okay, I want to talk about another one. This is really important to me now. Is alcohol. I want to discuss that a little more in depth. I don't know if I've really talked about it before. But I want to just, kind of explain, like I've always fucking loved alcohol. I've always loved it. I've always loved wine and beer and fucking, whiskey and all of it. I fucking love it. And because of that, I've drank a lot in my life, and I've partied a lot, and I've fucking gone hard, and I've had insane nights, on tour, and fuck, man, like just, I've had a lot of nights just drinking. I've drank, and it used to be fun. It used to be great, and when I was younger, because it's just more fun, it's like when you're like 18, 19 in Canada, the drinking age is 19. But yeah, so I mean, back then it's like, everyone's just kind of drinking and it's fun, and you don't have to worry so much about life and shit. And then eventually it kind of becomes like, fuck, like I got all these adult responsibilities, and like I'm drinking and I'm hungover, and it started to kind of like become, not that I was doing it every day or like I was depending on it completely, but it was kind of starting to become like, okay, when I go to drink, when I drive to the liquor store, I know I'm going to feel like shit the next day. And I know that like I'm giving up my whole next day just to have fun tonight. And I'm doing that for what reason? And I kind of ignored the reason. I'm like, I just want to do it. I just want to like relax and like drink and whatever. And what I've really noticed, really like now in my life, is that alcohol for me has led to a lot of other things. So it's like, trying to quit smoking, or trying to quit, eating shitty food, or clean up my diet, or just like meditate more. It's like anytime I'm on a good streak with anything, if I drank, then it would sabotage me completely, and even if it took a couple days, like for some reason for me, drinking alcohol awakens like some really dark shit. And it's not like, I'm like a terrible human when I'm drunk, but I don't know how to explain it. I just don't feel like I hate who I am when I drink, and not even just when I'm drunk, but like how I feel after for the next couple days or for the next week even. Like I feel like really more leaning toward the side of like darkness, you know? And it's not probably like that for everybody, but for me, for whatever reason, it's a very spiritual thing. And I've had to face it over and over and over to be like, okay, finally be like, okay, I just can't have it in my life. And so this year, I'm not drinking any alcohol at all. And I don't know what it's like to go a year without drinking alcohol. I mean, I'm sure I do when I was young, because I wasn't drinking when I was like a fucking toddler, but I don't remember what it's like to not drink for a year. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm just drinking a lot of tea, a lot of coffee, and it's great. But I would say, you know, if you're struggling with, if you're drinking and you're having issues in life, you're having troubles, anxiety, fucking anything, you know, having trouble with your weight, having trouble with your diet, having trouble with like, you know, clear thoughts, just stop it for a month and see how you feel. You know, if you've been drinking periodically for a while, you know, you think that it's not affecting you, but it totally fucking is, man. It's affecting everything. And, you know, I listened to this crazy audiobook called, I can't remember what it's called. It's by Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. And it was like a 5-hour audiobook, and I was listening to it while I was working on some Stay Cozy stuff. And it basically talks about, you know, it's basically Napoleon Hill was a man who was alive sometime in the early 1900s, I believe. Could be earlier than that, I don't remember. But the whole premise of the book is like he interviews the devil, and the devil has to tell him the truth for whatever reason. So the devil talks about alcohol and cigarettes, and it's fucking blew my mind, and it scared me so much. And I don't know, it just kind of helped me be like, okay, I just need to not drink, you know, because anytime I drink, I want to smoke. And it's been almost a year since I quit smoking, like cigarettes. And I quit vaping in like November. I don't even know, maybe earlier than that. So I don't have any nicotine anymore either, which has been awesome too, because that's really helped with like anxiety and like my heart palpitations and stuff. So just try to like eliminate substances if you can for a little bit. And I know it's easy to depend on them, and you want to depend on them. I get it, you know, life's fucking boring sometimes, but it doesn't have to be, you know, and life's like, you want to run from shit, but the more you stop running from it, the better you're going to feel in the long run. And I realized too, man, and I think you could probably relate to this. It's like you have goals, you know, I know you have goals, even if you say you don't know what they are, or, you know, say that you don't, you fucking have goals. I know you do. And we all do. And, I realized that I'm never going to achieve them if I'm not prepared, you know, and I can't be prepared if I'm fucking hungover, or if I'm bloated for a fucking 3 days because I got drunk and ate a bunch of shitty food. Like, I can't be prepared for like an acting audition. I can't be prepared for a show. I can't play any more shows hungover. I hate it. It's the worst feeling ever, because I can't give to you what I need to give to you. The point of me going on tour, and I'll talk about that, is to fucking be there for you and be there with you. I can't do that if I'm hungover, and I can't do that if I feel like shit because I've been drinking or something. So I just kind of wanted to share that. I've had a lot of struggles with alcohol, and it's sent me into some really dark places. And I have to say, since I cut it out of my life, even though it hasn't been that long, you know, it's I think sometime in December was the last time I drank. But I feel just clarity. And again, these are all things that I'm trying to hint at and try to give you that you can do in like conjunction with each other and build the overall thing, because it's not just one thing that's going to help you. I start with one thing if you need to, but if you can kind of over time incorporate a little bit of all these things, it can really be super beneficial for you. And that goes for drugs too. And I think with weed, I support the use of marijuana. I don't smoke it myself. I smoke CBD oil sometimes, but you know, if you feel like maybe you're doing it too much or it's slowing you down, you know, just try to ease off for a little bit or something. But if it works for you, then fucking keep doing it, you know. This is just for if you're dealing with shit. Okay, let's talk about another one. That's a good one. Posture. I want to talk about posture. And I want to talk a little bit about stuff that I've learned to help with confidence and to help with not feeling so anxious or insecure. So I've been an insecure little bean boy my whole fucking life since I was a kid. And, you know, for whatever reason, I just always kind of saw myself in a shitty way, and I never felt like I was good enough, and I always felt like I hated my body, and I didn't like how my features were. And, you know, I've always been like afraid of people that are like intimidating, and, you know, I'm always kind of noticing myself when I'm in a situation in public. I'm always like, oh, my hair looks like shit, or like the way I'm standing just is awkward. Like I'm always, it's like I have a fucking camera on myself, you know? I always had that. So I've learned a couple really cool things, and I'm going to show you them. Well, I guess I can't really show you. I might have to show you sitting down, but then you can try them yourself. So these are like actual physical things you can do that will help you. Number one is work on your posture. And all you got to do is, I'm going to try to do this right now. Bring your shoulders up, bring them back, and tighten your chest, or tighten your abs, tighten your center. So just shoulders up, back, and tighten your center a little bit. And just like try that like for a little bit, and walk around like that for a little. Just like straighten yourself up, and like, you know, don't be so hunched over with your head down and stuff. And just like start to do that gradually over time. Like just remind yourself, okay, like I'm just gonna fix my posture a little bit. I'm gonna stand up a little bit taller and wider. And when you do that, you feel bigger, and you feel more confident, you feel better, and you'll notice that you feel more just kind of at ease when you do that. And that's something that has helped me greatly, I have to say, is just working on my posture. Because I've listened to a lot of kind of psychology of that, and I bought a course by a guy named David, what's his name? David something. It's escaping me right now. David Van Erich, sorry, I think that's his name. He's basically a hypnotist, and he does like NLP, and he's a psychologist and whatever. But the course was about how to use your body, like make changes in your body and your posture to influence your nervous system. Because, you know, the way that your body is, that's like gonna influence how you feel. So another thing that I do just before auditions, I do this before like I have to go somewhere if I'm nervous for it, is just find a place to stand for like 2 minutes and just put your arms up like this, like, yes, like I just fucking won. Like just think of a time where you've like succeeded, and just keep your arms like this for 2 minutes, like straight up. Just stand there and use like a bathroom stall or something. That's like usually what I like. Today when I did my audition, I went into the bathroom and I did this for 2 minutes. Do it for 2 minutes, and I promise you, you'll feel better, and you're going to feel more confident. You're going to feel just like bigger, because it's like when you do that, that means like success. That means yes. That means like, fuck yeah, you know? And if you're always kind of like hunched in and small, it's like, you know, that's like fear, and that's kind of like closing yourself off, like putting your hands in your pockets all the time and like crossing your arms all the time. Like you'll probably notice yourself do that, but that's like insecurity, you know? It's like we do all these things we don't realize we do. So if you start to kind of consciously like open yourself up more and be bigger and walk straighter and sit, you know, more like loose, it starts to change how you feel. And another interesting, awesome practice that you can do that I learned from David that I do is if you feel anxious or you feel angry, or it probably works best for like anxiety or kind of discomfort. You know, everything that you feel has a specific spot in your body. And for me, like anxiety is mostly like in my chest. And that's the biggest one I have to kind of like consciously fix. So I'm just going to go through this exercise with you, because this kind of, I just want to like use this video to talk about like some actual stuff you can do. So this exercise is basically, close your eyes. I'm not going to close my eyes because I just want to make sure my camera didn't stop recording. So close your eyes, and if you like whatever you're feeling right now, and let's just say it's anxious, you know, notice like where it is in your body, you know. And for me, again, it's usually in my like center chest, or like lower, like right at like upper stomach or something. And just notice where it is, and that's fine. You can just like notice it. So now what you want to do is keep your eyes closed and think of a moment in your life where you've really felt like amazing, or however you want to feel. If you want to feel like confident, if you want to feel loved, if you want to feel beautiful, think about a moment in your life where you felt one of those things, okay? And just really think about it, just any specific moment that you felt like amazing. And so what you want to do is just keep your eyes closed and imagine that moment as a picture in front of you, like a picture in a frame in front of you. Like just see that moment, like you could jump into it at any time, but like, and then what you want to do is reach out and touch the picture frame and like put your hand into it and feel that moment. Keep your eyes closed and do this. And then what you want to do is just blow it up as big as you possibly can. So make this picture, keep your eyes closed, and just make this picture like massive, just fucking huge. Okay? And just feel that feeling expand and get bigger and feel better. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take this picture and you're going to suck it back down into a little ball, okay? And then basically what you're going to do is you're going to fucking spin it around, spin it like faster and faster and faster and faster. And then you're going to throw it into your chest or wherever you felt that first feeling. You're going to throw it in there and it's going to replace that feeling. I don't know if you just tried that, but like that shit works fucking amazing for me. And it's awesome because you're summoning this feeling and you're physically placing it somewhere. And that's like, it just does something to your body. And I remember I ran through that with my mom one time, and she's like, wow, like I feel a lot better. So that's just something you can do if you need to kind of just get a quick fix of confidence or love or whatever you need to feel. That's a really been a useful kind of tactic for me as well. So there's just a couple like practical things, you know, for anxiety and for feeling better. I think that's pretty much it for posture and that kind of stuff. I'm not like an expert on it, but I just know like, you know, certain little things that I've done, that work and that I've learned over the years. And that's a good one. That's a really good one. And, you know, every feeling has like a color usually, and you just kind of identify things and traits of certain feelings and try to, you know, pull them out and replace them with the ones you want. And that can work really well. Another thing is you know, use the law of attraction. And if you don't know what that is, do some research on it. It's probably the most important thing you could ever understand. And there's a lot of kind of like surface level literature and movies and stuff about it. But like really dive into like the mechanics of it, because it's fucking incredible. And you start to see like how you feel is what you attract. And then you start to use techniques like what I just showed you to shift how you feel, and you start to shift what you attract. And you stop the shitty momentum. Because you're creating it, man. And I believe it wholeheartedly that you're creating all the shit that's happening in your life that you think is out of your control. And you think, you know, all the things that are affecting you, it's how you're perceiving them, and it's how you're allowing them to affect you. And you know, you're drawing certain things in based on your frequency. And every emotion, every feeling is a frequency and has a vibration. That's why like music makes you feel certain things, because music is all fucking vibration and frequency. And that's how I look at it when I write. Is like, I got to play my guitar, play my piano until I hit the note that resonates with the feeling that I have, whatever that might be. And then I got to tell a story and expand that feeling through a song and put that feeling in a bubble. So when you hear it, you feel the same thing that I felt, you know? So just start to shift how you feel. And I guarantee you, if you just consciously do that for a little bit, you know, you're going to start to see your life improve. And if you make any of these changes that I'm telling you in this video, and you do see, like, let's just say like tomorrow or even later today, you have something like kind of coincidental or like a little synchronicity happen. Like, oh, I was thinking about this person and they texted me, or, you know, I was thinking about this and then I saw it, or like, you know, I just got a random check, or I got a random phone call for a really good phone call. Don't just ignore that. You know, if you start to like think about like shifting how you're feeling, and you do get a little like sign of like, okay, you know, a good thing came and I was consciously trying to attract a good thing. Don't just be like, oh, it's just coincidence, because it's fucking not. It's not. And the more you learn that, the more you can just start to realize, like, when you do shift your momentum, that shit starts to happen, man. And it's like, and then when the bad thing comes, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna let it come and pass, because the moment I start to focus on the bad thing, I'm gonna start attracting that more of that. So notice the little synchronicities and things like that, because they're fucking important and they're beautiful. So just take note of that. Okay. So that's another thing I'd like to, I'll say I'd like to talk about. I already talked about it. Just talked about it. And it's all right. I'm talking about kind of my experiences, and I'm trying to focus on you, and I'm trying to, like, you know, but I feel like the best way I can do that is to share, like, just directly, like, what I'm feeling, what I've experienced, and like coming from my stream of consciousness to you. So hopefully it can help. Really just a quick one that has been really powerful for me lately, and I've kind of got addicted to doing this, and it might sound a little bit weird, but it's not at all. Let me explain this. So I've kind of like, I feel like certain people feel like I think sometimes I have like resting bitch face, and I kind of, when people see me, maybe they don't know me, because people tell me this later, like, yeah, well, like, when you looked at me, like, I thought you were like pissed or sad or something, and I'm like, no, I wasn't. And so I've kind of been like, okay, what am I thinking when I see somebody that I don't know, or what am I thinking when I see somebody, like, in general? And most of the time, again, this is stemming from insecurity. I'm kind of like, oh, this person probably doesn't like me. Like, there's this weird thought that's always kind of been in my head of like, this person like probably thinks I'm weird or awkward or something, like. So I'm projecting this like weird kind of energy. Or sometimes like I think somebody's just pissed at me, or I think somebody's like, you know, just doesn't like me. Like, I'm kind of projecting this like assumption onto people, and so that I think translates with like, you know, the energy I send. So I noticed that over time. And so here's what I started to do, and it's been fucking awesome. You know, number one, I think when you apply certain things and you start to become more confident and feel better, you know, the way that people react to you will change. It will change. I promise you that. And the more confident you are, the better you feel, the more people are just going to give that back to you, because that's what they feel from you. So it is like a loop, you know. It's like if you're projecting the opposite of that, that's what people are going to give to you, because that's what they're feeling from you, even if it's like subconscious shit. So the more you do work on yourself, the more that people are going to react to that and feel that, and the more that feeds you. So it's good. But one thing that I started to do, and I started to do this like maybe 2 weeks ago, and I've been doing it pretty much every day, and it's just kind of habit now. And it started when I was in the car, because I was like, when I drive, that's the only time that I would get like pissed off. That's the only time I would like be like, fuck, like I just hate this, and people would make me angry and stuff. Just because you sit in the car enough, and it's just like it really gets annoying, you know, when you're in traffic and people are doing crazy shit. So instead of like looking at the person that just did whatever they did, and looking at them and being like, this person's a fucking idiot, I looked at them, and obviously they didn't see me, but I said, I love you. I just looked at them and I said, I love you. And immediately I was like, wow, this person's like a human. This person's probably going through some shit. This person like has had loss in their life. This person has had love in their life. And like, this person's, look at how cute their fucking nose is. Like, look at their like, and I just immediately thought all those things. And then I started to do it to other people I don't know. Like, anytime I see a stranger now, a lot of times, especially in the gym, I do it to pretty much everybody, and they don't know. You just look at somebody, obviously trying to do it when you know, they're not looking at you. Just say, I love you. You know, just put your attention on them for a second and say, I love you. And the reason I think this works, and it starts to make you love people more, and it's made me more open. It's made me like just want to talk to people more, less afraid of people, less feeling like people don't like me, you know. And I think the reason for that is because when you tell someone you love them, you only say that to people that you mean it, you know, to. And you love somebody because you think they're beautiful, and you think they're amazing, and they've done something great for you, or like you just love them. So when you say that to somebody, that's powerful. So when you say those words, it kind of conjures a certain view of somebody. So you do that for people, you know, just every day. Just do it tomorrow. Just look at somebody and just say to yourself, I love you. You know, you don't have to say it out loud, but try to say it out loud just quietly. There's some power in that. And just kind of notice that, like, I think you'll probably feel it too, like immediately just kind of see them differently, you know, in a better way. And it's been really nice, and it's something I want to keep doing. And so that's another little thing that you can kind of like halt your internal dialogue about yourself and about the way that people might see you and whatnot. That's a cool one. So that was a little one I had on my list. I really wanted to share. Okay. All right. We're getting into the heavy shit. This is, well, I don't know. Is it heavy? I don't know. This is something I've wanted to talk about for a long time, and I haven't had the guts to do it. But I shall. Okay. Okay, and this next part, I'm just going to give a little disclaimer. It's not for everybody. This is not for everybody. This is more for the dudes. And I only say that because I don't know about the female side of it. And I'm not trying to get into genders. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Do what you want, be what you want. But this is just for me, as a man, you know, something that I stumbled across a while ago. And I've implemented into my life and has become a part of my life. So if you're not going to be comfortable with like some kind of sexual stuff, then just skip it or pause it or whatever. So I want to talk about something that is called NoFap. You might know it as NoFap, but also called retention, semen retention. It's basically what it's called. It feels so weird to say that because I know not everyone, it's kind of, you know, going to feel weird to people, but this is something that has had a fucking profound effect on my life, and I want to talk about it. So essentially NoFap is basically not, you know, masturbating, not doing any of that stuff, and not watching porn, and not you know, doing that. You know what NoFap, you know what that is, you know what it means. And then semen retention is essentially going a step further and not you know, not having sex, not doing any of that stuff, so completely retaining your sexual life force. So starting off kind of with porn, that's, I think, a big one, man. And that can be a big especially as a dude. I know, I've had my times with it in my life. It's just a natural part of fucking being alive in this day and age, is like the sex stuff, and like you learn about it and you see it, and like, it's something that I've really just not wanted to be a part of my life. And it's something that, I've consciously cut out of my life, and I've consciously not, made a habit of using anymore. And that in itself was huge, and it changed the way that I saw people. It changed the way that I saw myself. And when I started to do this whole nofap thing, and this probably sounds so weird, but dude, my fucking anxiety just went away, and I felt without doing anything else really. Even times when I was like drinking and stuff, like I felt more confident. I could keep eye contact with people so much better. I didn't feel any of that like insecurity. And I don't know, I've just done a lot of research on it, and I've like read about it a lot and listened to a lot of people talking about it. And man, I think it comes down to like when you're, as a dude, like, that energy and that, like, that's like your life force, man. Like that's like the thing that you use to create other human beings. Like just think about that for a sec, So when you're constantly like spending that, on fucking watching porn, or, just having like sex with random people, or hooking up with people, or, if you're in like a loving relationship, maybe it's different. But, if you're constantly doing that every fucking day, and you're not giving yourself time to recharge, number one, you're literally draining like so many fucking nutrients and minerals from your body, because it takes so much to make that, because that's what fucking makes humans. And, when you're doing that every day, you're not giving your body enough time to restore that. So it's taking from other, parts of you, and it's making you feel more tired. It's fucking making you look like shit. It's, you don't notice that till you stop though, and also I really just think that like, there's some magical shit in that, man, because when I started to do that, and just like the whole retention thing, it's like, dude, I feel like I have days where I feel like I'm fucking like just on top of it, man. Like I just feel like the universe is just like, I'm so connected to it. And if I ever like relapsed or whatever, like it just went away, and I felt like anxiety. I felt at rock bottom. I was like worried about shit, and then you let it build up again. And you're like, wow, like this can be my natural fucking state. Like I just feel more like confident. I feel more like, just manly kind of. I know that sounds kind of stupid, but like I feel more like stronger at the gym, and I can talk to people, and I like laugh more, and I'm just more in the flow, and I'm more, just like not afraid of things. And man, I just have to say, like, if you're a dude and you're struggling with anxiety, or anything really, just try it. Just fucking try it. Try to quit porn. Just try to stop doing that for a day, 2 days. Try it for a week. Try it for a fucking month if you can. Guarantee you, not even like I guarantee you, it'll fucking change your life. I guarantee you, it'll change your life. Guarantee you, if nothing else, try that. And again, I don't know about, being a girl. Like, I don't know how it works, but I tell you, for the dudes, man, stop doing it. Stop wasting it. Fucking stop. Because those are your boys, man. That's your fucking life force, man. And you should preserve that shit and use it for other things. And there's something called sex transmutation. And that's essentially using that energy and doing certain meditative practices to channel it, up through your chakras and through your body, and use it toward your goals, and use it toward creating stuff. And I know for a fact it works. Like, it works for me personally in my life. And it makes you a fucking beast, man. It'll make you a fucking beast if you do it. And I promise you that. And if you're feeling like, insecure and anxious, and you can't keep eye contact with people, and fucking dude, that's the fucking secret, man. I'm telling you. So that's something I really wanted to talk about. And again, it's probably a weird topic for certain people, but I'm kind of done with like worrying about that, because certain shit just needs to be talked about, and certain shit should be. And I want to, because I'm really just all about, like, I just want to fucking make myself better, because I've had, I've gone through a lot of shitty versions of myself, dealing with fucking depression, dealing with anger issues, dealing with fucking crazy jealousy issues, dealing with fucking like confusion and addictions to shit, and like I've gone through so much shit, man. And I've made a lot of fucking mistakes in my life. I fucking have, you know? And I've spent a lot of time like dwelling on those. I've spent a lot of time, you know, worrying about those and like feeling guilty, but I've had to just fucking let it go, and I've had to forgive myself, you know? And that's a powerful thing when you can do that. But I think that only kind of comes when you start to work on yourself, you know? And you're never going to be perfect at it. I'm never going to be perfect at it. And all you can do is keep trying and keep going and fucking observe yourself. Keep fucking doing it over and over and over until you figure out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what you got to stay away from, how to fucking hack yourself. That's what you have to do in order to fucking win, in order to grow. Like, you have to do that shit. So that's kind of why I've talked about all these things and why I've been, you know, waiting to make this podcast. There's a lot I wanted to say. And again, this all like directly affects like my whole creative thing with music and stuff, like how I'm approaching everything, you know, and how I want to be in this year and how I want to be moving forward in my life. You know, I just don't want to keep allowing all that shit to fucking weigh me down. I want to be a new person. You know, I want to shape myself into who I want to be, you know, and I don't know. These are just some things I've learned, you know, and I hope this is helping. I know this is long as fuck, but yeah, well, that's all I have on my list. But, you know, I think ultimately, really, just observe yourself. Don't get so caught up in your internal dialogue of complaining and worrying, and, you know, because every time you tell a story of how much your life sucks, you're writing that story, you know, you are. And even if you're venting to somebody and that's fine, you got to talk to people. I'm just saying, if you're always kind of like, this person did this and my life sucks and blah, 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 like, you are telling life to reflect that back to you. You're telling the universe, this is what I want, give it to me. And the universe is going to fucking give it to you every goddamn time. And, you know, I haven't talked a whole lot about, you know, the true fucking like profundity. Is that the word? Profundity? Profoundness of all that shit, man. That in my life, you know, the universe and meditation and like creating your own reality. I haven't known how to talk about it. I haven't known how to express how much that has a massive impact on every single fucking day for me. I can't, because people don't understand it yet. And if you fucking YouTube it, there's so many people that are starting to talk about it more and more and more, and it's so much easier to learn and understand now. But, you know, the everyday shit, it's not like I can just bust it out in conversation. It's, you know, you can't force something onto people if they don't understand it or haven't done the work to get there. But dude, you fucking create your own reality, man. And even if it takes years and years of trying to figure out how to get past your self-doubt and insecurity so you can actually start to do that, that's fine. But it's the fact that you're aware and that you're trying and that you're consciously working on it. Because if you just give up and say, fuck it, like, I'm just going to feel like this forever, then you've lost. Because you believe that, and that's what you're going to attract for yourself. And I really think there's so many helpful people on YouTube that are talking about this kind of stuff right now. And I have to say, my favorite teacher right now is Abraham Hicks. And well, her name's Esther, but she channels. I don't know if like the channeling thing is like she's either just like actually doing it or she's just really fucking wise and maybe doesn't realize it. But she's amazing, and I really recommend checking out some Abraham Hicks. And you know, I've had to kind of like cool it on the whole philosophy stuff because I went down a pretty deep fucking hole with that, and I've talked about philosophy a lot on my podcast. And you know, I had to kind of stop because I hit a point where I was like, you know, I'm thinking about all these crazy ass things, and it's like cool to talk about. It's cool perspective, and it like blows people's minds, and all the questions about life, and like the really, you know, when you start to really dive deep, it can be dangerous because it kind of sent me into a point where I started to feel like nothing was real. I started to feel like, you know, I still feel like that at times, and I still have questions, but I just kind of had to realize it doesn't matter. You know, I don't want to let it matter anymore. I want to focus on like what feels real and what's here, and that's this right now. I want to be the best I can be in this and stop getting caught up in like, you know, the fucking concepts and the thoughts and all this shit. I just want to try to really be better because I've never like really done all I could do. And, you know, maybe we could always do more, but I feel like I've learned, enough now where I can fucking try like harder than I've ever tried and actually like do some more shit and prepare myself more. And one thing I really like to do is you know, I could, with you guys, man, like, you know, if you made it this far in the video, like, you know, I probably know who you are, because I feel like the people that like really fuck with what I have to say, like, you know, you're always there, and like I've talked to you, and like I see your stuff all the time. You know, I've seen your stuff on my comments and on messages and whatever. You know, I always want you to feel like I'm, you know, your friend, and not like a fucking musician and stuff. You know, and I know, again, you know, I don't care about being like super fucking playing in stadiums and shit anymore with music. I don't care. And maybe I should, but I just don't. I want to make cool shit. I want to be a better person, and I want to do cool shit. And you know, so I know I'm not fucking Ed Sheeran, you know, but I just don't ever want you to see me like feel like you can't reach me or you know, connect with me. And, you know, logistically, yeah, like I can't reply to all the messages I get, because I do get a lot, and I do have a lot of people that follow me and stuff, but just never feel like I don't care, and never feel like I'm not like there, or like I don't mean what I'm saying to you, because I do, and I'm trying my best to make you feel that, because I'm always gonna make music and do what I can to, like, you know, give you good creative stuff that will help you a little bit navigate through your life journey. But I just want you to feel like if you ever see me, you know, you ever come to a show, like I'm just your friend. I'm just there. And if you need to talk, like I'm there to talk, man, you know? And I'm not good at replying to messages sometimes. I have my app and I have my voicemail, which I'm really behind on, and I will catch up. I've just been doing a lot of personal work. That's why I've kind of haven't. But I want to do more, you know, I just want to do more in this life to connect with you, because I think ultimately it's like, we just need people to talk to sometimes. And I want to be that as much as I can. And so I'd like to, so when I go on tour, what I want to do and what I'm planning to do is look at find the nearest coffee shop for each, like near each venue. And if I can make it early, because sometimes we have long drives and it's hard, but I want to make it early and like be like, hey, I'm at this coffee shop. Like if you need to talk, if you just come here, and we're going to sit and just talk for as long as we can. I want to do that. I really want to do that. And other than that, like we're going to have like a whole part before the shows where we're going to do that kind of thing. But I would like to have more time to do that. And one thing I really, really feel like I need to do at some point soon in this life is I want to do, you know, a tour where it's like, and a lot of people have messaged me about this, which is awesome, because I did put out like a little thing. Just you know, meeting in like a room in a church or a fucking youth center or something that we can just hang out in for fucking 3 hours and have an amazing conversation and like talk about this shit in person, you know, like a fucking meeting, you know, like a AA meeting or something, but like not for alcohol, but just that kind of thing. We're just like come together and fucking hang and talk, because like when do you get to do that? You know, you get to hang with your friends, but like when is there a meeting for like, I just need to talk with people, I just need to talk or hear humans talk about their struggles? Like where are those meetings, man? You know, like that you can just go to anytime when you feel like fucked up, or like, you know, just don't know what to do. Like where are those, you know? And so I'd like to do something like that. And I don't know how to do it, you know, I don't know how like logistically it'll work and whatever, but I'm just trusting that it'll happen, because I want to do that. I just would love that, and I'd love to get that time with people, you know. So anyway, man, I just talked about a lot of stuff. I don't think there's really much else that I have right now, but I mean, another thing, you know, diet, exercise. I started hitting the gym like 5 days a week training instead of just 3, and I've been training my ass off for 3 weeks. I started a new workout program 3 weeks ago, and I've been pushing myself so fucking hard, and it's felt amazing. I didn't think I could do it, but I've been doing it. I've seen myself grow stronger, and I felt myself grow stronger. And you know, gym can be huge, you know, just going and exercising and not being like stationary all the time. And you know, I stopped eating like mostly just kind of bread, like carbs and shit, like sugars and bread. Like I stopped eating. Like I'd say kind of when I started this program, I really was like, okay, fuck it, I'm not eating it up. And dude, that's been huge, man. Just not eating so many shitty carbs and sugar, like that's made me like feel better. Not just like physically, like I've lost weight, but like just mentally I feel less like all over the place, you know. So that's been good. And I think diet, you know, because you really like whatever you eat, like that becomes a part of you, you know. They're eating like shitty processed food all the time. It's affecting your vibration, like literally. So try to stop doing that, you know, all the time. That can be helpful. So anyway, these are just some things that, like, you know, I really think if you just do a few of them even, or if you can manage to do all of them, fuck yeah. You know, that's taken me 25 years to even like understand all these things. But you can change, you can work on yourself. You can change yourself, man. And, you know, and I say that because I've done it. You know, I've been in some really shitty places in my life, like stuff that people don't even know and will never know about, you know, just like dark spots like that you can't even explain to people if you tried. But all that matters is that you keep showing up and just try to overcome them and you know, just do better and work on yourself, and don't fucking feel like you can't or you're powerless. And no matter what you have going on in your life, you can always do something to make it better, like always, every time. Even showing more love to people, giving more, you know, just putting that out there more. That's one thing you can always do. So anyway, thank you if you made it till the end. Thank you. Or if you skipped, then that's awesome too. Thank you so much for watching. I'd like to make more of these again. I hopefully you understand by now why I was kind of waiting. I just had a lot I wanted to say and I didn't quite know how I was going to say it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this one. So I hope 2020 is good for you so far, and I hope that it continues to be good. I think it's been a great year for me as far as like clarity and just like feeling like a new human, you know. And I feel like a lot of it's just like drive to like work on myself and like be better and like do cooler shit, you know. So that's pretty much it. I hope I hit some stuff that resonated with you and that made sense, and you know, maybe this video will help you through something or help you remember that you can fucking do what you set your mind to, and you don't have to just be sad and, you know, anxious and insecure. You can change that shit. And if this video didn't help you to do it, then do some research, man, because I've learned a lot just from Googling or YouTubing, like how to feel better, how to do this, dude, there's so many people that make videos that will help you step by step how to do these things. So spend some time and do that. I don't know how this tea lasted me the whole episode. Like, that's fucking nuts. That's why I went with the bigger cup. I was gonna do the panda, but I was like, I'm gonna go with the bigger one just because I need the whole episode's worth of tea. So anyway, I just don't want to end the episode because I'm really enjoying just sitting here and talking. I love it. It's so nice to do this again. I got 2 candles going. Light some candles too. That's good. That's a good one. Anyway, I hope this helped, guys. And I will do another episode soon. And I will give you new music soon. And I'll give you some tour dates and new Stay Cozy. I hope this kind of maybe you feel like you know me a little better now after this. Because I talked about some shit I never talked about, you know. But yeah, man. I mean, fuck, man. I put a lot out there on the internet and stuff. And, you know, you probably noticed things about me and the stuff I posted and the music I've written, and probably been like, man, that guy's probably going through this or whatever. Like, you're probably right, man, you know, because I have a lot of hidden messages and all that shit, but like, you probably see it sometimes. I've been lost. I've been fucking lonely. I've been like confused. I've been, you know, all that shit. But all that matters is like right now. It's what you do right now. You know, I can't change anything. Can't change like the good things I've done, the bad things I've done, you know, the ways I've hurt myself, the ways I've hurt other people, you know, the fucking money I spent on stupid shit, days I've been hungover, you know, times I've yelled at people, times I've fucking made people cry, times I've ignored things that I shouldn't have ignored, you know, times that I don't know, just all the shit you do in life, you know, can't change it, but you can change it right now and you can do better right now, and that's all that matters. So yeah, I fucking love you. And I know that, you know, every YouTuber says that, but I'm not a fucking YouTuber, so don't even think about it. I'm not a YouTuber. I do love you, and I know life is a fucking overwhelming thing, but you're gonna be okay, and you are okay, and there's lots of people that care about you, And even if you don't know those people, it doesn't matter, because they're always going to be out there, and I'm always going to be one of those people. So thank you all for everything, and I just want to continue to try and help if I can in some way. So, all right. Till next time, stay cozy and stay cozy. Peace.